Hey booze, hey, it is your girl, the Rising Phoenix Empath, coming at you from Maryland, and I'm jumping on today. I have a story time today. I don't usually do this, but I have a story time of something that I have been experiencing in real time, right? And it's been going on for quite some time, okay? Long story short, when I first moved here, I had a set of neighbors to the right? And the nicest people you ever want to meet, right? They sold the house shortly after I moved in. They sold the house, and another couple moved in, another family. And I was quite friendly with this family, in the beginning. And then I realized after spending some time, and having a few conversations with the wife, that we were not aligned, right? Um, doesn't mean she's a bad person, just means I felt like she wasn't for me. So I kind of started to just be very kind, very cordial, but I started to distance myself upon realizing that this person was not aligned with me, right? And I'll do another video on what happened to really make me come to that realization, because I think that we need to be keen and listen to our instincts and our intuition. Okay, I want to stay there too long, but long story short, I started to distance myself, and I noticed a change in the energy, a major energy shift. Like, I wasn't angry or mad at anybody. I just knew that this person wasn't really somebody I wanted in my personal space. I really didn't think that a true and authentic friendship could blossom in this space. And so I just, I distanced myself, and I wanted it to be just a very respectful and cordial neighborly relationship, so to speak. Well, this person became very agitated, and the energy immediately changed, right? And I can sense the agitation, and I can feel, I'm an empath. I can feel the agitation. I can feel the resentment coming from her and her husband, right? So it was just different. Sorry about that. But long story short, I just began to distance myself. I remained very friendly. I remained very cordial. I even waved. I spoke. I would even hold, every now and again, I would, walk over and hold a conversation. It was very neighborly to me. But I did sense an energy shift, and upon really feeling this energy shift, I stopped being as talkative. Still very friendly, just a wave or a hello, and just keep it moving, because I felt this energy. And so one day I noticed their dog pooping on my property, and so when I said, hey, I text her, hey, your dog is pooping on my property, and so she never responded. She just sent her husband to come and get the poop up and come and get the dog. And so but they were offended that I set that boundary. And so let me say this, I do consider myself, and that's my son, I do consider myself an influencer, and I do have people that watch my page from all over. And I love everybody, and I'm appreciative, but I'm going to speak on issues, advocacy issues for disenfranchised communities, such as myself, such as the Black community, such as the special needs community, such as the elderly community. I'm going to speak on injustices. I'm going to speak on societal issues that we have in this space. And if you're a person that will become offended when I speak on racial issues or problems, then this is your opportunity to tap out, because I have the platform for a reason. I'm going to use it. But moving right along, when I set that boundary about their dog pooping on my lawn, it became 10 times more agitated. And I can't help but to believe, because I'm one, this is a majority white neighborhood, which I don't have a problem with that. And most people have been awesome to me and have been kind and nice. And I do feel that I have created a sense of community here. But I will also acknowledge when I feel that somebody is having an attitude. It was almost as if, who am I to set about? Who is she to set this boundary with us? And that made them really have a disdain for me that much more when I set that boundary. Well, all of a sudden now my dog barking became a big issue, right? And they had never before mentioned that the dog barking was an issue. Okay, so I listened. So no, one day I was looking at my window and I saw them, they were all on their porch, having family time. And I saw that they allowed their dog to walk to my property line and poop on my property. Now, unbeknownst to them, I was watching them watch their dogs do this. And so I became upset and I jumped up, went outside, looked at them. And then I sent a text to her. I said, look, we are, out of neighborly respect, I have asked you not to allow your dog to poop on my lawn. And then she had her husband to respond. She never responded to me. She had her husband to respond to me. And me and him had a lot of back and forth. It wasn't disrespectful, but very stern on both parts. After I said my piece, he said his piece. We came to some agreements. And in my mind, it was over. Okay? It was over. And I was fine, right? I was good. I was cool. I said my piece. I spoke my piece. I spoke my truth. And I set my boundaries. He set his boundaries. He spoke his truth. And it was fine. Right? Okay. Fast forward to, I let my dog out one day. And when I let the dog out, the dog refused to come back in the house. Was very upset. And she had never done that before. And she was, and she had been doing that. And from that point, she had started doing it more often. So I had to leave her outside to go pick up my son. So I picked up my son I left out the house maybe around 7, got back around maybe 9. And maybe later than that, honestly. And she apparently she had been barking. And when I checked my text messages, he had texted me, "It's about time that you put Lizzie up." And from there, it just got out of control because I felt very disrespected, because in what world would you, as a man, text a woman something like that? And would you have texted that to a married woman or a married white woman? And why is it that you think you can cross these boundaries with me? And I can't, with all of the racial divide, I can't help but to feel like people think it's okay to be disrespectful and to disregard my wishes and to flat out be disrespectful to me because I'm black. Even though color, surface level, wasn't an issue, okay, initially, I feel that the attitude of who does she think she is comes from a very racial place. And so this is where we stand. Fast forward to last Thursday, on my way home, somebody was tailgating me. And lo and behold, when I got to my development, I pulled over because once I turned into my development, the person tailgating me very aggressively pulled over too. And I realized this person tailgating me was my neighbor, was her husband, the guy tailgating me very aggressively. And I do feel that it was intentional. I do know it was intentional, and it was a form of intimidation. Part 2's coming up.